strategies, agriculture technologies, and much more. So first of all, the question is, how do they survive? How do these people, the Harappan civilization or the people of Harappan civilization, survive? What do they do in order to survive? So you can see, as it is written in point. Point number 1 says that they ate different types of plants and animal products. They don't depend on one. They have wide range of plants and animal products. It means what? They move around, and whatever plants, whatever animals they see or they found among their reach, they just get it and prepare it as their subsistence, means they eat that. Then point number 2 says that animal bones found in Harappan sites also says that they rear cattle like sheep, goat, buffalo, pig, etc. And this also says that they don't only rear them. In time of need, they eat these animals too. And how can we say that? Because bones of these animals were found in Harappan sites. Now these are all the tame one. Besides the tame one, they also have wild species bones which is found in the Harappan sites. For example, they eat animals which are found in the jungle, fox, dogs, wild dogs, tiger, deer, all these things. Now these are all about the bones and all, but this is not only the thing that they depend on. They also go for hunting, they also go for fishing. And how can we say all these things? It is all because of this the leftover, or we can say the fossils which we found in the Harappan sites, the bones of the fish and fowl which are found. So this is the first strategy of the Harappan civilization. Now this is all about hunting, taming, fishing and all this. Besides this, they have agricultural technologies. Now what is that agricultural technologies? It says that they have ox. They have ox, they have a system of ploughing. Now how can one can say that they have ploughing system? It is all very sure, it is all very clear, because we found terracotta animal or a toy, and this toy is nothing but a toy ox which is fitted with a plow. And that also says that these people have got ox and they use ox for plowing. Now this is not only found in one part, it is found in Cholistan, it is found in Banawali. It is also seen that in Kalibangan they have plowing field. All these are traces which are found. Now agricultural technologies, and this agricultural technologies means what? The ox, the plow, the irrigation system. Now irrigation system, it is found in Shotugai in Afghanistan. They also have rainwater harvesting system which is found in Dholavira in Gujarat, and this is done through water reservoirs. I think it's clear now. Our second part, it's all about Mohenjo-daro. Now what is this Mohenjo-daro? As you can see, Mohenjo-daro is nothing but it's a planned urban city. When you say plan, means they have proper planning. They don't have things which is just laid down here and there. The Mohenjo-daro is divided into two sections. Section 1, it is a citadel. Section 2 is a lower town. Now what is this citadel? Citadel is nothing but it is raised up. Now from the word citadel, now we may not be able to say what is this, but it is a raised up area. It is a little bit higher than the lower town. And what do they have? First of all, the walls or the bricks are there. They constructed the wall made of mud bricks, and then which is meant that it was physically separated from the lower town. Means they first of all they make the town, and then there is a wall surrounding this citadel, and that means there is a separation between the lower town and the citadel. Second thing that we can see is they have a warehouse. The citadel have a warehouse. What is this warehouse? It is a massive structure of which the lower brick portion remains. Okay, means warehouse means what? It's a godown type. Okay, and all these things says that the people of Harappa, they really have some kind of division. Okay, who is a higher class, who is a lower class, maybe they have this division, because of which they have the lower town and the upper town or the citadel. Now the upper portion, that means the citadel, that means the citadel is, you can see, an area where people really go for some, what do we say, celebration, some kind of like bath and all. And who does this bath? It is not done by regular people, it is done by the royal people. Okay, they have this great bath out there. Okay, the upper portion probably of wood was the great bath, means there is a great bath. It was a large rectangular tank in courtyard surrounded by a corridor on all four sides. Okay, and this tank has got just towards its sides there are 8 washrooms, or we can say bathrooms, and most probably these bathrooms are used for taking bath only. Okay, and after the ritual, any kind of rituals, I think they used to take bath out here. So these are all for the royal people. Now if we move on to the lower town, the lower town had different type of planning, but it's once again it's a very well planned system. You can see there it had a planned drainage system, and it is not like just a drains are made and it is let in the open air. No, it is totally planned. How can we say? Because of the archaeology, or we can say excavation, or because of the remains. Okay, the drain system is there. The roads and the streets were laid out along an approximate grid patterns. When I say grid patterns, you might have seen the square line copy. Okay, grid, straight. They divide, all the roads are divided into, means they intersect in 90 degree. It's a very beautiful plan. Okay, now their roads also, the drains are not separate. The drains and the roads are together only. When I say together, first the drains are made. Above the drains they cover it. After covering it, that covered area is a drain, and it is also a road. Okay, then this grid pattern provides an example of residential building. They were many, means they have a very beautiful setup of house and all. They have courtyards with rooms on all sides. Every house they have a bathroom. Okay, with paved with bricks and all. Their drains are connected. Every house has a drain, and this drain is connected to a main drain. Where is the main drain? The road. Okay, the road has a main drain. All the rubbish is taken out through this main drains, and then it is dumped in one of the area. But what is the uniqueness of this lower town? The uniqueness is that it has the context in which was founded citadel. The several distinct buildings had led scholars to suggest that it was meant for kind of spatial ritual bath. Means when you look around, when you look at the great baths, you can see very easily that they don't use this great bath for general bath. Okay, they go and take bath only during some rituals or during some events. Okay, now our next topic is a social difference. A question may be asked, how can you say that there were some social division in the Harappan society? Okay, so the answer is very simple. It is because of the found, or what we found. First of all, burials, and second one is looking for luxuries. Now when we excavate, or when the archaeologists excavated some of the what is that, the dead bodies, or okay, when they went and excavated the cemeteries, okay, the area where they have buried the Harappan royal people or any ordinary people, they just went and excavated all this. What do they found? Sometimes there was a difference in the burial pit. What is that difference? In some graves, there were pottery and ornaments. Okay, now this pottery and ornaments is missing in some of the burial pit. Wherever you find ornaments will be of very high quality. Okay, and that ornaments of high quality means what? They are rich people. Okay, all the rich people have beautiful things, and all the beautiful things are being buried together with the dead body. Whereas if the dead person is not from a well-to-do family, he has a very simple thing. Okay, there is a very less thing which is being buried together with the dead body, and that is why do they bury all these things? They think that it's the dead body will be using it, or the spirit will be using it after life. Okay, now burials tells that jewelry has been found in burials of both men and women. It is not only for men or women, it is found in both. That means rich people, either they are men or women, you will find something buried with the dead body. Okay, now craft production. When you talk about craft production, the name, you can see the first name itself, Chanhudaro. It is one of the best place for craft production of their time. Okay, it is a very tiny settlement, but they have devoted craft people or craftsmen. What do they make? Okay, bead making. When you say bead making means what? We have this necklace, we have some kind of garland or anything. They have some beads, and all these beads are to be cut, to be designed. And these people of Chanhudaro are very good in all this. Shell cutting. I think you know what is a shell. Okay, metal work, seal making, weight making, all these things is done in Chanhudaro. Means it's a very tiny settlement of specialized people. Okay, now they made variety of materials, and this is when you look at this variety of materials, you will find beads which is very remarkable. Techniques which they use is very different than the other people or the other areas. Okay, they use different techniques for different materials. Okay, nodules with chip with rough shapes, and they finally flake into the final form. And when you read this point, you may think, what is it, right? They just take any ordinary nodule, they just start chipping it, they get a rough one which is very rough, then they start polishing it. After polishing, they give it a very beautiful looks or fine form to that. They have specialized drills, okay, which is found in Chanhudaro. Now Lothal and more recently in Dholavira. Means when you find this, when you talk about specialized drill, you will find in Chanhudaro, you will find in Lothal and Dholavira. This says that there were lots of craftsmen. Okay, they are very good in crafts and all. I hope you're not getting bored. Okay, anyways, now in future you may be asked to locate these names. Okay, whatever you got through, you have to locate this Nageshwar, Balakot, Chanhudaro and all this. Now what is Nageshwar and Balakot? This is once again a center of making what objects? What objects? Shell objects, including what do they make? Them bangles, okay, which are basically used by ladies. Okay, so Nageshwar and Balakot, it's a very important place for shell objects or shell making area, shell object making area. Okay, what do they make there? What? I think you know that bangles. Okay, and these bangles, maybe not only bangles, they also have necklaces, anklets, okay, earrings. They make it, and these are made of shells. Okay, so now after all these things, we have one more question that which comes up to our mind: strategies of procuring material. Now everything what they use it. Now in my previous topic we have shell making, but do you think shells are found in all the areas? Shells are basically found in areas which is nearby the sea, whereas Harappan is not nearby the sea, it is far. Then how do they procure this thing? How do they get this thing? Now in order to procure this thing, what do? They have different strategy. So you can see point number 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, procure from subcontinent and beyond means they don't depend only in their area, they depend for these things from far countries also. Okay, and now in various, first of all, you can terracotta toys models of bullock carts suggest that this was one of the important means of transporting goods and people across land. Means when you look at the terracotta toys, you will find a cart, and this cart is a symbol saying that it's a sign saying that they use this for transportation. Means they don't depend on their area, they travel a little far from the area to get some of the articles to make their things. Another strategy to make or to procure raw materials was what? To send someone for expedition. Okay, they will select some people, or they will gather some group of people, and they'll say you have to go for expedition, and during the expedition they will look for the materials which are not found in the areas, they'll collect it, they'll bring it back to their own country, and then they will make something out of it. Now, which established communication with the local communities. So you can see that whenever we go to a new place, we are not sure of what is there, what is not there, so they make contact with a guide. Okay, we made contact with a guide, and the guide tells us this is this, that is that. So here also you can see when they go for the expedition, they come into they meet some local people, and this local people tells them that okay, we find this stone from here, that stone from there, that shell is from there. So, and they made good contact so that they can get more and more materials. Now, contact with distant land. Now, point number 1 and 2 was in a nearby areas. Now, point number 3, 4, 5, and 6 will be from outside areas, means outside their country. Now, when we go through the archaeological thing, you will find that copper was probably not from India and not from Harappa. It was from Oman. Okay, so how do they get this thing? So when you go through the book, you will find that copper came from a region called Magan. Okay, perhaps it was the name for Oman. Now, other archaeological find says that Harappan seals, weight, dyes, and beads suggested that they use things which came from a region known as Dilmun, and this is where we can say Bahrain, Magan, and Meluha, possibly the Harappan region. Now, all these areas, they produce something different than Harappan areas. So now the people from Harappan area, they go across, meet these areas, and then collect some needed materials and bring it back to their own country. Then it is likely that communication with Oman, Bahrain, or Mesopotamia by sea refers to Meluha as land for seafarers. Besides, we find depictions of ships and boats on seals. Now, how do they travel? So how can we say that they travel from far and wide? We can say this because whenever we find some seals, their seals have got some kind of depiction means some kind of symbol, and this seals has got symbol of a ship or a boat. Okay, and that means they go far and wide and collect the goods. Okay, so I think it's clear. If not, don't worry not, I'll come back to you once again after your suggestions. Okay, now seals, script, and weights. Now, what is the need of all these things? Okay, now seals and sealings. Now whenever we get some items from our online shopping and all, okay, we get something and it is completely wrapped. If it is completely wrapped, and if it is the seal is sealed and it is not broken or it is not torn, we accept that this seal, the product which is sent to us, is very genuine. So here also seals are meant for that only, not only to make sure that things which is sent from one king to another king reach properly, but also in a safe way. Okay, now seals also facilitate them in communication. The seals have got some kind of symbols, and these symbols can be deciphered, and they will come to know that the king wants to say that I want this, I want that, we are friends, we are enemies, all these things. Okay, the sealing also convey the identity of the sender. Now whenever the seal, if they had a paper or something, if the seal is sent, they look at the seal. After looking at the seal, they come to know that okay, this particular thing came from that particular king. Okay, particular thing came from that particular king. How can they make this thing possible? Because of a seal. Once they go through the seal, they found that okay, this is from king number A or B. Now enigmatic script. Now when you talk about script, means writings and all. Now Harappan seals usually have a line of writing. Okay, and this writing tells that it has got, and this writing has a particular inscription. It says the name of the writer, the owner, the name of a place, everything. Scholars also says that it has got a motive. Motive means generally there will be some symbol, and this symbol will be an animal. Okay, and this animal conveyed a meaning to those who could not read. Now the seal has got something, and during that time also only some people can read and write. Those who cannot read and write, they just look at the seal and they come to know that okay, this seal came from that king, or the product came from that king. Whereas the king comes to know that very easily, okay, because they know it is being sent to us. They have some kind of script out there. Now most inscriptions are short. Okay, whenever you look at the seal, now you have a book, you all look at the book, there will be some pictures of a seal. I'll try to post this also. Okay, now there are some pictures of seals. Look carefully, you will find some kind of inscriptions are there with some kind of writings. Okay, the longest have got 26 signs. Okay, along the script remains undeciphered to date. Means although there are some script which are there which we cannot know what is being said or written. It was evidently not alphabetical, as it was just too many signs. Means whatever is written, it was very difficult for the archaeologists or for some people who can read out all these things to translate it or decipher it and give it to us. Okay, saying that okay, the particular seal wants to say this. Somewhere between 375 and 400, the script was written from right to left. Means when you look at the seal, you will find that the seal was written from right to left. But how can one say that it is written from right to left? Very simple. If you see that it is written from right to left, you will find that on the right side the letters has got good space, but as you move on to the left, the letters are being squeezed up. That tells us that the letters have been written from right to left. Then now we move on to weights. You know what are weights? Okay, anything which is used to measure. Okay, the weights and also. Now why weight system was regulated? Okay, now usually things were exchanged. Okay, but when they found that the exchange of things is not particularly coming up to a mark, they said we should have a weight system. So usually which is made from a stone called chert. Okay, they are generally in cubical shape and they come from the smallest to the biggest shape. Now just look at the book, you will find this image of the weights also given. Okay, but they don't have any marking out there, but they have some weight, small one, then there will be next followed by a little bigger than that. According to this, they measure the things and they sell it out here and there. Okay, now next topic is the ancient authority. But before I move on to this, you'll see that metal scale pens have also been found. So now how can we say that they are using weights? You will see in our present day we saw balance, right? Two pens with a balance, means with a holder out there. So that's a balance. So in that time also we found one balance out there, and with that we can say that they use weighing system to sell goods here and there. Okay, ancient authority. Now what is this ancient authority? There are indications of complex decision being taken and implemented in Harappan society. All the decisions which are being given, which are being taken, okay, are taken by the very important people. Okay, now you can see there, every society has got some important people, and this important people takes the decision. Now where is it taken? Palaces and kings are there. A large building found at Mohenjo-daro was labeled as a palace by archaeologists, but no spectacular finds were associated with it. Means, when you read this line, you will find that okay, we all say that there are kings and queens everywhere, but as you look carefully, you will find that they have everything. They have this palace and all, but no one can say very surely that there was a king during their time. There is a statue. Okay, there is a statue which is labeled like priest king. It means that they might have a king, but we are not sure whether he's a king or not. But he might be a priest. As he is the priest, he might be given the chance to take some decision. So that is why it is known as priest king. Now some archaeologists go against this. Okay, now according to them, they say that Harappan society had no rulers. Okay, they had no rulers, but some archaeologists feel that there was no single ruler but several rulers. So you can see even archaeologists cannot come into a conclusion whether there was a ruler or not. If there are no rulers, some they don't accept, some say no, there were rulers but not one, plenty. So in that way, Mohenjo-daro had separate ruler, Harappan had other ruler. So you can see ancient authority means what? There were someone who used to take decision, but who takes a decision, it's not sure. While some believe that there was a single state, that there was a single state, means Harappa was ruled by only one king and it was a single state. Okay, now our next topic is end of the civilization. It's a very simple topic, but yes, very good question, okay, for us to come across. That is how the civilization vanished, okay, or what happened to the civilization. There is evidence that by 1800 BCE, most of the mature Harappan sites, okay, such as Cholistan, had been abandoned. They left it. Simultaneously, there was an expansion of population into new settlements in Gujarat, Haryana and western Uttar Pradesh. Means they moved from one place to another. Okay, they left the old place and they move on to new places. So several other explanations are also that a decline of Harappan civilization, and this decline came because of climatic changes, deforestation, excessive flood, shifting or drying up of the rivers. Now these are the causes of end of civilization. Another point that says that end of civilization is this: the end was evidenced by the disappearance of seals, the script, distinctive beads and pottery, the shift from standardized weight system to the use of local weights, and the decline and abandonment of the cities. Okay, so what we understand from the last point is that there are evidence that the seals already over. There were no one who was using seals anymore. There were no one who was using the script which was found in Harappa. There were no distinctive beads which was found during Harappans anymore. There was a shift. Okay, they don't use the church anymore. They move on to the standard weighing system. Okay, then they also left those areas which was occupied by them or inhabited by them. They left those areas. They move on to the new one. When they move on to the new one, automatically the old one is abandoned.